My husband, Jamie, has always been cold towards our middle son, Morty, for some reason. This started to strain what used to be a smooth relationship between us. Is he treating Morty this way because he suspects that Morty doesn't look like him, and I might have cheated? I suggested a DNA test, but Jamie stubbornly refused. Suspecting something was off, I took the liberty of getting a DNA test done on Morty myself. What I found out was beyond belief. My name is Mia. I'm 35 years old. I work full-time to support our family. Jamie and I will soon be celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary. We hit it off at a party, and things went smoothly to marriage. We have 3 kids. Our eldest son, Mark, our middle son, Morty, and our youngest, Lucia. Jamie has always been thrilled whenever I was pregnant. When he found out Lucia was going to be a girl, he was so happy he even teared up. Though raising 3 kids takes a toll both physically and financially, I feel incredibly blessed to be surrounded by such wonderful children. All of this joy, I owe it to my kids who have grown up so well. I wish I could say I couldn't ask for more. But there's one thing that bothers me. Jamie's attitude towards Morty. He's a wonderful father to Mark and Lucia, but for some reason, he's always cold to Morty. Just recently, this happened. We went to the park as a family of 5, but Jamie would only play with Mark and Lucia. When Morty tried to join in, Jamie brushed him off, saying, "Morty, go play with your mom." "But I want to play here with Dad and everyone else." "Enough. I've got my hands full with Mark and Lucia." "All right," Morty said, his face looking as if he's about to cry. Frustrated, I confronted Jamie. "Hey, what's wrong with you? Don't you see you're hurting Morty?" "If you feel that way, why don't you play with Morty?" "That's not the point. Morty wants to play with you." "I told you. I'm busy with Mark and Lucia. I can't entertain all 3. "You don't have to talk to him like that. Look at him. He's about to cry." "Ugh. Can you stop nagging? Look, he's not my son. Keep him away from me." "What do you mean, not your son? That's outrageous. Morty is also the child I gave birth to. Why are you so cold?" Upon reflection, there have been signs over the years. Jamie would take off work for Mark and Lucia's birthdays, but he'd go to work on Morty's. During family trips, Morty is always left alone. The more I think about it, the colder Jamie's attitude toward Morty seems to have become over the years. Then, Morty spoke to me. "Mom, does Dad hate me?" "What? Why would you say that?" "'Cause Dad is nice to Mark and Lucia, but he's always hard on me." "I see. You've noticed too, huh? It must feel bad. You love your dad so much." "Yeah, I want to play with Dad like Mark and Lucia do." "Got it. I'll make sure to talk to Dad about it too," I assured. The thought of my young son feeling this way weighed on me. As a mom, it felt like a failure. After the kids had gone to bed, I approached Jamie. "Hey, Jamie, can we talk? It's about Morty." "No more talk about Morty, okay?" "Not okay. Morty asked me again today, does Dad hate me? How are you not embarrassed as a parent?" "I don't hate him. It's just, compared to Mark and Lucia, I don't find him as endearing." "What? That's your reason? They're all our beautiful children." "You wouldn't understand. Just leave Morty's issues to you. Don't involve me anymore." Jamie stormed out, slamming the door behind him. Alone in the room, tears welled up in my eyes. Why? How could he say such hurtful things? Morty is a good kid too. What makes him different from Mark and Lucia? Nothing changed in Jamie's behavior, no matter how many times I talked to him about Morty. He only became more affectionate toward Mark and Lucia, and the difference was glaring. I started losing trust in Jamie. Then one day, I was venting to a close friend. She hesitated before saying, "Well, I can't say for sure, but could Jamie suspect you're cheating?" "Cheating?" "Look, Morty doesn't resemble Mark and Lucia, right? Maybe he doesn't think Morty is his." "What? I carried and gave birth to all 3 of them equally. Jamie was even there when they were born. But the only reason I can think of why he doesn't show affection to Morty is that." Just as she said, Morty doesn't look like me or Jamie when compared to the other 2. So does this mean his attitude should change because of that? From my perspective, that's incomprehensible. Still, I can't let this continue for my second son's sake. I decided to have a serious talk with Jamie later on. "Hey, Jamie, about Morty."
"Again? I thought we were done talking about this."
"Do you think I cheated on you?"
"What?"
"Because Morty doesn't look like us. Do you think he's someone else's child?"
"No, that's not what I meant."
"So what did you mean? Why are you cold to Morty alone? It doesn't make any sense."
"There's no deeper meaning."
"That's enough. No deeper meaning? Do you realize how much Morty's hurting because of your whims? Act responsibly. You're his father." After I said that forcefully, Jamie just looked down and went silent. The conversation wasn't going anywhere. I decided to resort to my final option. "Fine. If that's the case, let's go get a DNA test."
"What? What are you talking about?"
"Well, you keep saying things like he's not my son or keep him away. Morty's suffering because of it."
"A DNA test is going overboard."
"Then what? What should we do? Are you going to keep acting this way until we prove Morty is our biological child?"
"Well,
It's settled then. I'll take care of the DNA test." As I was about to leave the room, Jamie shouted,
"Wait!"
from behind me. He grabbed my arm tightly and said in a low voice,
"Listen, never do that DNA test."
Faced with an expression I'd never seen on him before, I got cold feet for a moment. But I couldn't back down now. I clenched my shaking legs and looked him straight in the eye. "If you can't treat Morty like you do our other kids, then I'll insist on a DNA test."
"Stop this nonsense. We don't need to go to that extent."
"It's because of the way you're treating Morty. I don't want to do this either, you know?"
"Calm down. There's no point in doing that."
"Enough. I can't stand seeing Morty so sad anymore. If I don't see any change in your attitude, I'll go ahead with the test." I shook off his grip and stormed out of the room. Whether it was my warning or not, Jamie started talking more to Morty. Gradually, Morty began to smile more, and I felt relieved. Then one day, all 5 of us went out for dinner. As everyone was deciding on their meals, Morty spoke up. Hey, what are you going to have, Dad?"
"Oh, I guess I'll go with a hamburger."
"Then I'll have a hamburger too."
"What?"
"I actually like the same foods as you, Dad. I just never said it before." As Morty grinned, I couldn't help but smile too. But Jamie had a different reaction.
"Why would we like the same things? You're not even my kid."
Jamie's harsh words made Morty flinch. "What? Dad?"
"Don't call me Dad. Just stop it."
"Why? Did I do something?"
"I'm going home first. Mia, take care of the kids."
James quietly left the table and walked out of the restaurant. You could cut the tension with a knife. The kids sensed something was off, and the whole dinner turned somber. Selfish act by Jamie, casting a shadow over even the children. I couldn't hold back any longer. That night, I cornered Jamie for a heart-to-heart. "What was that today? Do you have any idea how Morty must feel?"
"I'm sorry."
"If you want to apologize to Morty. Why would you even?"
"It's out of my hands, okay? He's not my son. Just leave me alone."
At that moment, my patience ran out. All 3 are our children. No difference. And yet, he can say such a thing so easily. There's no time to hesitate. I have to change the situation for Morty ASAP. The next day, I took a day off from work and left the kids at my parents'. I then headed to the appropriate facility and requested a DNA test. I explained the situation to my parents and decided to stay with them until the results came in. That night, I received an out-of-breath call from Jamie.
Hey, Mia, where the heck are you?
At my parents'. Me and the kids are staying here for a while.
What? Why all of a sudden?
To spare the kids any more pain. You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
don't call us until you hear from me. Goodbye.
Hey, wait a...
Ignoring Jamie, who started to say something, I hung up the phone. My parents back home were worried too, but all we could do now was wait. Several days later, an unexpected truth came to light. I secluded myself in my room and opened the envelope containing the DNA results. My heart felt like it was going to leap out of my chest. Its beats were that loud. Seeing the results, I couldn't believe my eyes. What? This has to be a joke! According to the DNA test, Morty had no blood relation to us at all? He wasn't Jamie's child, nor was he mine? What the heck is going on? There's no way he's not my child. I clearly remember giving birth to Morty and during the labor pains. But the test results couldn't be lying. The names written were correct. In my shock, my mind went blank. I decided to leave the kids with my parents and head back to confront Jamie. I handed him the test results and interrogated him without mercy. What does this mean?
You can't be.
These are the DNA test results you've been refusing. Explain. You know something, don't you?
Well,
My husband fell silent, his eyes darting around evasively. At that last moment, I was incredibly angry at him for not facing the truth. That's enough. I don't know what you're hiding, but the results are out. Has this got something to do with why you've been so cold to Morty?
No, it's just...
If you won't speak up, I'll go back to the maternity clinic where I gave birth to Morty. I'll even call the police if I have to. Are you okay with that? Raising my voice, Jamie finally gave in and muttered,
All right.
Then he spilled a shocking truth.
Morty isn't our child. He's the child of the woman I cheated on you with.
What? The child of your affair?
Yeah, a woman I met around the time you were giving birth.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. I gave birth to Morty and was discharged from the hospital as scheduled. That's impossible.
I met her at the maternity clinic. She was a pregnant woman whose due date was the same as yours.
What? When I pressed him for details, Jamie explained it like this. I was told I was at risk for preterm labor, so I was hospitalized at 9 months pregnant. Jamie visited often, but little did I know he had met someone else at the hospital. Turns out she was the daughter of the head of the maternity ward, and she was carrying another man's child. She fell head over heels for Jamie when he came to visit me. Apparently, she was forced into marriage by her parents to produce an heir. Maybe that's why her infidelity escalated. She wasn't in love with her spouse. Under these unique circumstances, Jamie and she began to have an illicit affair. Or rather, she aggressively pursued him, and before he knew it, they were entangled in this complicated relationship. She gave birth to her spouse's child on the same day I did. Then she cornered Jamie. I want to raise your child. If you don't let me, I'll spill the beans to your wife. Switch our babies. In short, it was blackmail. Fresh from giving birth, I couldn't possibly hear about Jamie's affair, so he caved to her outrageous demands. As a result, our biological child was switched with hers. In the hospital, Morty, who is really her child, came home with me. Jamie, teary-eyed, finally came clean.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I tried to tell you the truth so many times, but I just couldn't.
So that's why you've been so cold to Morty.
I tried in the beginning, but as he grew up and started to look more like her, I couldn't bear it.
I can't believe this. All because of that.
You don't understand how hard it was for me. My feelings are something you'll never understand, Mia.
You can't be serious. Selfish much? I found myself raising my voice. I couldn't believe he was playing the victim even now, refusing to acknowledge his own faults. A surge of unutterable anger filled me. Are you kidding me? I was struggling too, you say? Like I care. Morty's gone through way more pain than you because of your self-centered actions, and yet you're acting like the damsel in distress?
What else could I do?
Really? It all started because you cheated, letting yourself be manipulated by her? What about our real child? What about Morty's feelings? What will happen to them?
Well, that is.
I've had enough of you. You've lost any right to parent. I'll raise all 3 kids myself. They'll never see you again, nor will you claim to be their father. Live with your guilt, you piece of trash. Ignoring Jamie's attempt to hold me back, I stormed out of the house. I later consulted a lawyer and expedited the divorce. Jamie admitted to the affair, and based on the DNA test results, we divorced, with him taking full blame. I even found the woman he cheated with and made sure to demand alimony in the divorce trial. The only regret I had was finding out that our biological child had been living in a facility due to parental neglect. But there's no turning back now. People might think it's cruel, but Morty is my child now. From that day on, she had no contact with Jamie. I gained custody of the children, and now they're living at my parents' house. Fortunately, I have a job, so we're managing, but I expect to face various challenges ahead. Yet I have no regrets about my decision. I vow never to let Morty, who has come back to me, feel sad again. I plan to give equal love to all my children as if they are all my own.